Okay, so we have this time. Edge of Eternities, collect a booster, surrounded by my space Legos. Not all of them, there's one missing because I have to fix it from Ice Planet. And I don't think you can see this lovely robot piloted by this lovely dude, but there it is. So, need to have space to open cards. So, we are going to be opening this, and we are going to be enjoying it every step of the way. This thing looks awesome. I'm so excited. This set is so much fun to play already. And it has such gorgeous artwork. So I am really, really excited to be opening this. I have a few cards that I'm really, really excited to play with as far as ADH. So let's get right into it and see how this goes. Let's break into the packaging first, and then we'll go a little bit closer as we open the cards. Yep. Okay. Is there a box topper? I don't see one, but let's pull this out. I don't think there's box toppers in these, but let's see. All right, so these don't have serialized cards to watch out for, so that's good and bad, I guess. But they do have some really pricey cards. Mostly, I think the Ancient Tomb is the most pricey. The priciest. So let's see whether we can open some of those. But I'm also just interested. I do have a bunch of Ancient Tombs from older sets, although I do think this art is spectacular. So I'm not, too invested in those as far as play, as more than just like monetary value. So let's see what we get here. And I'll probably be pretty happy just to find some cool stuff to play with. All right. Pack 1. Now let's go closer, better, faster, stronger. Okay. So we've got a Perigi Beckoner here. This one is great. It's part of a 4-card combo that I'll show you in a minute, with commons and uncommons in this set in black, which is pretty sweet. I like this card in limited. I think it overperforms for even what I thought it was going to be. It's pretty darn good. Weft Blade Enhancer has been doing some great work in the especially in the green-white decks that really care about +1/+1 counters. So I'm going to put that one aside so I can find the other pieces maybe if we open them. Nanoform Sentinel also has been overperforming because it can untap things to to station a spacecraft pretty well. It's an artifact for your artifact synergies as well. So better than filler a lot of the time, weirdly. Nebula Dragon, it's been slightly unimpressive to me, a 7-drop, but Germinating Worm is a fine play, not super exciting. It gains you 2 early if you need to, and then you play it on 5. This one I'm not a huge fan of. I think it's okay. Vote Out, there we go. There's your Among Us sus. Okay, anyway, sorry. Vote Out's a sweet one. Good removal and limited. Lithobreaking has done some work against me in some aggro decks. So this is pretty cool. You get to create a lander token and then sacrifice it, right? To have a pyroclasm effect. But you also don't have to sacrifice the lander token to sacrifice any artifact, so it's not the worst. Okay. Blade of the Swarm. This did the great work for me, and it actually has done work against me. The target exiled card with warp on the bottom of the owner's library has been quite good. We get to get rid of that Kavu rare and a flyer over the course of today's games. Or it can be a 5/3 for 4, which is not the best, but not the worst. You pay a little bit for that versatility. Mana Mana! Mana Mana is great. This card is wonderful. We did play this, got some value out of it. It's basically a kill on sight if possible card in the uncommon slot. Pretty sweet. So yeah, all I have to say about that. Oh my god, these lands are so sweet. They're so pretty. So this is just like a normal set of magic. For this kind of land, usually you have to buy Unfinity and unsets basically. So This is really gorgeous. I really think they did a great job with the art on this stuff. On the whole set for the most part. There's a few things that I don't really like as far as that, but it's, you know, one person's taste. Okay. Consult the star charts. It is a perfectly fine card. I think it does really good things in constructed, more than limited, but it can do stuff in limited. Because, you know, if the spell was kicked, right, if you pay 4, it's gonna be a, you know, dig through time or whatever it is, like probably around that area. So it's pretty sweet. I like it. All right. Baloth Prime. Okay, so this is from the commander. 4 mana, 10. What? 10/10. Oh god. This creature enters tapped with 6 stun counters on it. Whenever you sacrifice a land, create a tapped 4/4 green beast creature token and untap this creature. Okay, so that removes a stun counter on it. But pay 4, sacrifice a land, you gain 2 life. But if you can sacrifice lands otherwise, you just poop out lots of... That's kind of crazy. Okay. I definitely have land sacrifice decks that would very much like this card. That's a sweet one. I like it. Ooh, whoa. Sorry, I didn't mean to reveal this too soon, but okay. That's really pretty, whatever that is. All right, Corral of the Void. Is it Coral or Corral? I actually... Leave a comment. I actually don't know. Itchy shoulder there. Okay. This one did some work for us. I'm pretty happy with overall how it performs. It's a little bit of a, you know, it's a really high ceiling. It is also a little bit of a low floor. So, especially if you get it semi early and they just have nothing in the graveyard and it's sitting in your hand. But still, you know, still a decent rare and limited. Okay, Blink Moth Nexus. Very pretty. Just a regular foil, not a galaxy foil. But really just quite pretty. I like the sort of star chart here. That is really nice. That stuff. Blink Moth Nexus, not probably one of the more money cards, but it's a classic, and it used to be worth a lot of money with it, that and Ink Moth Nexus, which are both, I think, in this. But sweet card. Servandum Sunstar Exemplar. Look at that art. That is stunning. Wow. Okay, that's gorgeous. You cannot tell from... Okay, this looks way better in person. It is so gorgeous. It looks way better in person. I'm sorry, this is not showing very well. But wow. Okay. That's a cool thing. Whenever another creature you control dies or is put in exile, put a +1/+1 counter and gain 1 life. When it dies or is put into exile, while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Just a value card for Orja of Colors, a 2/2 Vigilance Menace already, so not so bad. Okay, I don't think this pack was worth much, if anything. But sometimes that's the way it goes, is the collector boosters can either be like, you can open like a $500 card, or you can open $2 total. But here's a lander token and robot token. I'm going to pull out the rares and keep those aside, just so we can look at them later and sort of evaluate. Okay, next booster. Here we go. Urk. Here we go. Turbo Drone. This card, it does work, and they have to be really worried about what you can haste in and pump. So I really love it because the warp cards are great with it. So you warp something in, give it haste +1/+1, and then, you know, exile it and replay it later. So yeah, I really like this card more than I would like a 2/3 for 3 usually, and I would normally prefer this, like the little 1-drops that give haste, because they just come down sooner and really just make your deck flow. But this is the fact that this gives +1/+1 as well. I don't think that could be a 1-drop ever, even if it was a 1/1. But yeah, okay. Anyway, Squire's Lightblade. I haven't used this yet. +1/+1 First Strike. Won a lot of combats in Final Fantasy. I'm not sure it wins as many here. We'll see. Gravkill, amazing artwork by Dominic Meyer, just unbelievably beautiful, and just a good card in limited for removal. Red Tiger Mechan, decent card. I'm not high on this one. Obviously, it has the warp, which is nice for enabling various things. So that's pretty cool. But, you know, otherwise, fine. Dark Endurance. Costs 1 less to cast if it targets a blocking creature. +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. All right, fair. Ilvoy Infiltrator. This has done some work for me. It has gotten in and drawn some cards. It's been pretty sweet, but it's it's an Ophidian, a 3-mana 1/3, with just this extra caveat that you know, on this extra ability where you can just get it in if you cast 2 or more spells. So it's fine. It's a lot of mana for 1/3, but there you are. All Fates Stalker. I've not gotten to play this yet. I did have an option to draft it, but I chose a different card. This is a good one. I've had it played against me. It's just a sweet card, as almost all of the Banisher Priest types effects are in limited. The fact that this has Warp as well and can stop something from blocking early is super sweet. Caveron Harrier. This one does a lot of work with the sacrifice effects, and pumps, you know, the 2/2 that comes, the little 1 and a red 2/2 that whenever an artifact enters the battlefield in your field and under your control, you can pay 1 and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Really sweet one here because this keeps pooping out ones for that to do. Here you go. Whenever you sacrifice this is a lovely combo to just keep attacking and pumping this. Oh man, that's gorgeous. It's a little blue for a forest, but it's so pretty. In person, it looks a little blue overall, but that's gorgeous. That's so pretty. Just put this over there. That's so gorgeous. All right, Diadrain, Synthesis Amalgam. That is, it actually did some work against me earlier today. It is scalable, which is nice. So even if you can't do the remove and draw a card, it's still decent, more decent than I thought. Anyway, I'm not sure how great it is, but yeah. Yet we have to figure out this format as it goes. All right, Moxite Refinery, 2 mana from the commander. 2 mana, remove X counters from an artifact or creature you control. Choose 1, activate only as a sorcery. Put X charge art counters on target artifact or X +1/+1 counters on target creature. I see. So you can just shift counters, okay, from one thing to another, but all at once, not just like one at a time. That could be cool for my artifact proliferate deck. I might do that. We'll see. Ooh, the Void Altar. This is the Planet Land, the black one. Pretty good stuffs. Happy to get that and play with it. Then we get Sunken Citadel. That's pretty cool. It's a reprint, obviously, all of these are. Don't think I have a lot of this card in particular in the past. That's nice to have. The Seriema! Okay, this is a cool one. Okay, so this is a legendary tutor. You tutor up a legendary creature card, put it into your hand, then shuffle for 3 mana. And then you can pay 7, which, and once you do the 7 counters on it, other tapped legendary creatures you control have indestructible. That's pretty sweet. It might go in my Joda deck. I'm not sure. We'll see whether it does. I don't think this is worth much, but I could be wrong. Again, the pack was not that impressive. So this is a cool art card. And we move on to the next one. Okay, let's go. Okay, I'm going to put the lands separate actually too, because those are really stunning. Okay. Got the swamp out there. I had already pulled the forest. All right, let's go. These are very pretty cards. All right, we've got Orbital Plunge. This is a great removal spell unlimited just because 6 damage takes care of most of the things you need to take care of. Not everything, but most. And that excess lander is a really good addition. If you do excess damage, the lander is so important as just an extra bit of value to sacrifice to something or to fetch a land. So, and get further into your deck. Radiant Strike. That's a removal spell. Artifact or tap creature, gain 3 life. Decent stuff. What white needs. Ilvoy Galeblade. Decent card. Some value. Not super impressive, but there. This one, I've gotten some people with it. The hexproof is key. And the fact that it's an artifact with those synergies, super sweet. Auxiliary Boosters has nearly gotten me multiple times. But we actually managed to make it. This is not so bad for... it's, you know, still, it's perfectly playable. It's still a lower pick, but it's still perfectly playable, and I'm perfectly happy with it. That flying is important. Another litho breaking, okay. Another blade. Another Phenomena. That's a run, I guess. A close encounter, that's new. Okay. This one is a fun one. And I have had a great time with it. It's a punch spell, but it can also punch from the creatures you have in Warped. So, Warped it from exile. So, another Swampy. Very cool. Pinnacle Star Cage. This actually did some work against me earlier today. I wasn't sure whether this was going to be good with that many, with, you know, a lot of people not running that many 2-drops overall, like non-aggressive decks. And then the idea that it just wouldn't be, there's a lot of artifact removal. So, but it did great work. So I'm going to reevaluate that at some point. I think it's better for constructed, but it's super sweet. That's just a nice, yeah. It's gorgeous. Like, this artwork is stunning. The texture of the sphere is just so cool. All right, Surge Conductor. Oh, this is definitely, absolutely going in my artifact proliferate deck. It's perfect. It is so perfect. All right, so that's an extended art of that. 2 for 3 whenever another non-token artifact you control enters proliferate. That is such a nice pickup. The only thing better would have been if it were in foil. Singularity Rupture. This is the Wrath. We have played with this. It is kind of stupid and limited. Basically, milling half their library meant that they just had very few ways to come back and kill us. It was yeah. It was a crazy card in limited. Okay. There are a lot of Wraths in this set. I'm not sure I'm all that happy with it. All right. Non-foil Mutavault here. It's a nice pickup. Again, classic land. Again, all creature types. Super sweet. Whoa. Okay, that's probably quite pricey. That is probably quite pricey. So this is the poster version, like the sort of... you know, space, you know, book like old sci-fi book cover or poster, or like, it's so cool. But this is Green Sun Zenith, which was not banned. So there you are. So this is an unbelievable EDH card. I'm going to sleeve this up right now. That is a super sweet foil. And that is a really valuable card just in general. So I imagine, though that this is a reprint of it, which generally brings the price of things down, that is a special guest, which doesn't usually bring the prices of things down because it's a special guest treatment as well. So different artwork, but there are more in circulation, so it does a little bit. But yeah, wow, that's a nice pickup. And a lander and robot token. Okay, we're gonna sleeve that up right away. That is super sweet. I also really, this is such a classic bit of artwork. I love it. They did a really good job with that. That is really nice. Okay. That is so sweet. Okay. Really cool. Very happy with that. Open there. Okay. Next, we've got... Nope. All right, we have a Wormwall Sweeper. All right. This is a great card in limited because it makes certain opening hands keepable that wouldn't be otherwise. This two colorless as long as you have 2 mana, and you get the Surveil 2 and try and fix your draws. That's pretty sweet. You do want to draw it earlier rather than later, usually, because that Surveil, unless you... Because I have, in fact, drawn it multiple times today when all I needed was an actual spell or creature or anything that would be able to block or you know, remove something, and I got this, and unfortunately, then I died. So... But there, you know, I think it's still worth it, you know, for those fringe cases, sad, but like it's still a great card in limited, just to make sure that you can have a smoother draw. Comet Crawler. I haven't really run this yet. Again, sacrifice synergies, pretty sweet. You can steal their creature and sacrifice it to this on attack in the red, if you're running black-red rather. Zealous Display, decent card. Focus Fire is great. And that artwork is stunning in foil. Gee whiz, that's so cool. This card is such a great thing because it's guaranteed 2 damage at the very least, and then it can be bigger. The only thing is, obviously it has to be attacking or blocking. That's the restriction, and you know, fair enough. For 1 mana, that's fine. Melded Moxite. This is a good way to draw cards in the any of the red decks, basically. Because it also can create a colorless robot artifact creature token and fill your, you know, need for artifact synergies, etc. So, Bygone Colossus. There's a few combos with this that would be interesting. Remember that little dude that gives haste also, right? So you can warp it for 3 on 4 after you play that little dude that gave haste, and then attack for 10 unexpectedly. But this also crews most spacecraft on its own, so that's another thing you could do with it. So, not cruise, stations, the space. I can talk. This one I undervalued, according to other people. I haven't had it really work very well against me, and I haven't actually had it really. But I have heard from other people that this is a really good card in limited. That it's better than I thought it was. I see it as a 7 mana 6/6 do nothing that can just get removed by something with a lot less expenditure. Because when you have 7, you're less likely to have the 9 to also sack and then do +1/+1 vigilance and haste. That said, you know, or you could go 8 and then, you know, play this first and then play a land. Apparently it's very good, and I can't wait to see, you know, more of this play. Also great artwork. Scour for Scrap, good stuff. You don't want to get it early. It's really pretty poor early, even though you can just search for an artifact card, but the double is so important that you really want to get the maximum value out of it, so it could feel a little bad early. Still a really good card. Ruinous Rampage. I have not been thrilled with this one. I think this is not worth running. The 3 damage to each opponent is for 3 mana is not good enough, because usually, the exile all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Sometimes that can work if they're very aggressive and have artifacts, but I just haven't been up to taking this card. There's another card in the pack that is just going to be more reliably useful. Ooh, Mountain. Oh, okay. I think the forest and the mountain are my favorites so far over the swamp. These are stunning. That is so gorgeous in person. That is so beautiful. Wow. Okay. Oh, that last swamp we opened is, in fact, a galaxy foil. You can see the little... Yeah, that's a galaxy foil swamp. That last one. It's shown from the pile a little bit more there. The other 2 are not. They're just normal foils. But that last swamp was a galaxy foil. You can see the difference in the little spheres on it there. That's cool. Okay. All right. Neat. Okay, and now I'm showing you this breeding pool that we just opened. That is sweet. Beautiful foil breeding pool. Love the artwork on this. This is pretty sweet. Obviously shocks are valuable, and we're really happy about that as far as value, as well as playability and beautiful artwork. Very, very nice. Zarel, Genesis Shepherd. I assume this is one of the commanders that you get from the things, and this just is the full art version, which is cool to have. But 2/5 flyer for Jund and 2. Flying, you may play lands from your graveyard. Whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent during your turn, put a plus number of plus one counters equal to Zaral's power on up to one other target creature. Okay. So you can sacrifice the lands and then do the... Oh, okay. So this would be really good in a dedicated sacrifice / land deck. That's cool. Oh, man. I might have to build stuffs. Oh, man. That's pretty sweet. You can also do man lands. That'd be... Oh, this is such a sweet possibility of a deck. Ooh. Cosmogrand Zenith. So this card is so good in Limited. I have not gotten to play with it yet. I haven't played against it, thank goodness, when I didn't kill it right away. So that's nice. I don't actually understand what's happening in this art, and it's creeping me out. Is that a butt right there? Is she pooping out people? Like, I mean, it would make sense based on that, but, ugh. She doesn't look too happy about it either. I don't understand what... okay, anyway, let me know your thoughts on this particular artwork. I like the other artwork better, but this is the full art of it, so that's pretty sweet. So maybe I can trade for the regular art and a little extra. We'll see. But yeah, it's not that the art isn't cool, it just creeps me out for its implications. Anyway. All right, next card. Nesting Grounds. Non-foil. Move a counter from target permanent controls onto another target only as a sorcery. Okay. The land, it's fine. Okay. The Eternity Elevator. Okay. So this is a 5-mana spacecraft. It's beautiful in foil. Extended art here, or actually technically full art behind all of this, but add 3 colorless for 5. So it's like a Gilded Lotus, but Gilded Lotus has 3 of any one color, right? And then this one, as though it's a spacecraft, and you can, at 20, you can add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of charge counters. So you can add 20 of them. Or you can add charge counters some other way and have more than 20. But it is sort of like a colorless Gilded Lotus for your artifact or colorless decks, like Eldrazi's might want this, possibly. And then we have an art card. I don't know what that is. That's some stuffs though going on there. Quantum Riddler. Might be Commander. I'm not sure if I did that. Okay. Anyway, that's the breeding pool and all things. That's pretty sweet. Okay. That's a nice pack. All right. Moving on. Do. All right. Got some Discord messages. All right. So, Nutrient Block. The art on this is hilarious. I do wish that it had like no scarring at all and just like Ghost Bath. This is pretty sweet, but there we are. It's indestructible. Virus Beetle, good in the set still, because the artifact synergies and like, card advantage is a very big thing in this one. So even discarding one card is often important. Drill 2 Deep, good versatile removal / you can station up a spacecraft. Starport Security. This has been doing a little bit of work against me. I haven't been that impressed with it though. But there we are. Oh, this card is one of my... So I have 2 favorite cards in the set. This is one of them. This is so sweet. This card is excellent. I love this card. And I'm going to be putting it in text. This is so good. So good. Close Encounter is, something we've already seen, so I'm not going to go into that again. Desculpting Blast is good as a bounce. It's non-land permanent, so notably that's why it probably doesn't cost just the one that we've had for Unsummon before. So it's a extra value if the creature, if you were returning a creature and you get the 1/1. So I don't think this is going to see any of my constructed plays necessarily. It does make an artifact though, so maybe it belongs in my blue artifact deck. We'll see. Vault Guard Trooper. I just don't like that it costs 2. I'm greedy. Vault. I want to be able to pay 4 and draw a card with this, or I want to be able to like pay 1 and do other things like like snag to make them lose a life, or you know, 2 of the other things, vapor snag or something. So anyway, Vault Guard Trooper. This can be a nice top end in a more aggressive deck because you can control 2 tap creatures and draw 2 cards if once you get emptied out. So decent value there. Honor, really gorgeous artwork. Really, really gorgeous artwork. Did it go closer there or just... Okay, anyway. +1/+1 counter on target creature. It replaces itself. It's really good. Best in the +1/+1 counter matters decks. But, you know, it's essentially a free spell because it does replace itself. Not free, obviously, because you can have to pay the 1, but yeah. Oh, it's another Galaxy Foil land. A Plains this time. Okay, I definitely like the forest and mountain better than the swamp and plains. It's really cool. This is really gorgeous. It's not that it's not beautiful, but I like the other ones better. Okay, so that's Galaxy Foil. That's sweet. Cosmogoyf! Some people were talking about doing this in like Hetramos and figuring out what to do with that. It's a Lurgoyf. I have a Lurgoyf deck. I literally have a Lurgoyf deck, but it doesn't deal with cards in exile really at all. So I don't think I can run this in it, sadly. Like, I could try to put some Delve in there just because of that, but we use our graveyard in that deck. We want our graveyard for the Lurgoyf. So there's so many Lurgoyf that require the stuff in the graveyard. They're big based on things in the graveyard. And if I start exiling the graveyard, it's just a non-bow with the others. So I don't think I can use this really for my deck, but maybe I'll build an exile deck. Exploration Broodship, full art, non-foil. That is a cool card. So this is once you can station it for the 3, it's an exploration. It allows you to play an additional land on each of your turns. But once you can do the 8, once during each of your turns, you can cast a permanent spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a land in addition to paying its other costs. And that is super valuable. So like this card, might be going in my Green Sleeves deck. That's a sweet one. Okay. Ooh, Tannock! Steadfast Second. This card is epically good. Just having everything have haste, other creatures you control have haste, is already a nice start for a 3/5 body for 4, but artifact cards and red creature cards in your hand have warp to get 2 pieces of value out of their ETBs is so nice and makes them cheaper. Like, that is crazy. This card is such a house. I love this card. Especially for constructed. In limited, it's also crazy, but like, yeah. So this is the full-ish art. It's got the border, but yeah, full-ish art. Non-foil. That is really cool alt art. Nice. Okay. Eldrazi Temple. Okay, very useful for your Eldrazi decks. Every Eldrazi deck wants to run this. Yeah, just a very sweet card. Nice reprint, really nice art. Foil there. Another Corral of the Void. We talked about it. All right, Lander token and Human Soldier token. Okay, but that was a cool one. That was a cool one. Got a couple things that I wanted there. I don't think it was particularly valuable necessarily, but that was... I like the play value out of that one. Okay. All right, next we have... Hull Carver. 1/1 Death Toucher. Does some work. Stops some aggro. Sacrifices really well to kill something. There we are. And also fights or punches, or other punches best, but fights as well to kill anything. So that there are a few cards in the set that we've seen already that do that. Star Breach Whale. I love this card and I love the sound it makes on Arena even more. It's so awesome. The Surveil is just so nice in a blue deck early, and then 3/5 flyer is not inconsequential. So, all right, Drix Fate Maker for the +1/+1 counters deck. Gain 2 life, create a Lander token. That does some work. To fix your mana and to put artifacts into play and to make sure you're hitting your land drops. There's a lot of landfall synergy in the green. So pretty nice. Lost in Space, the normal interaction for blue these days. A common, another Desculpting Blast, another Vault Guard Trooper, another Honor, Dauntless Scrapbot. I love this card, and this is going in a deck. This is like any EDH deck that doesn't have graveyard interaction. This is one of the things you really want. So normally you get Bojuka Bog in black and a few other things, but this can go in any deck and exile each opponent's graveyard, not just one opponent's graveyard. This is such a gross card against graveyard decks. And then you also get a lander token and a 3/1 body and another, and 2 artifacts in play at the same time. So it's just this card. I'm wondering if it's just not a fun card to run if any of your opponents are running graveyard synergies. I mean, they can then probably repopulate the graveyard pretty easily. Hopefully it's not just like a really unfun card to play against, period, for any graveyard synergy deck. But I'm definitely excited about that one. I'm going to put it in with the rares for that reason. Oh, that island is gorgeous. Not a galaxy foil, but so pretty. So pretty. Okay. So I'm having so Teamer colors are my favorite of the lands, officially. That is so cool. Pain for All. I love this card. It's not worth anything, but I love this card in limited. It's so much fun, and it's also really, you can do some cool stuff with it in constructed. So you can put it on your creature, right? Deal some damage equal to the creature's power to something, a creature or opponent or planeswalker, etc. Any target. And then when it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each opponent. So you could then do Star of Extinction, or you could do like 100 damage to it. There's a card in this that does hundreds of damage to things. It is so much fun. So you don't need to wait for them to do damage to it. But yeah, I like this card, and I'm going to try and find a way to make it work. Okay. Eumidian Hatchery from the commander. Tap, pay 1 life, add black, put a hatchling counter on it. When this land is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, for each hatchling counter on it, create a 1/1 black insect creature token with flying. Okay, so you want to do the land sack stuff with that. That is pretty cool. Okay. Very, very flavorful. I like it. There's that Mutinous Massacre we talked about, the Wrath. Okay, we actually, I don't think I talked about this one yet. The potential one-sided Wrath and then steal everything and throw it at people. This is ridiculous. I feel like this is going to just end so many games. But yeah, great card. Full art. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Good and limited too, obviously. Just really good. Oh, so good. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Trying not to show off the other stuff first. Creeping Tar Pit. Reprint. Non-foil here. It used to be lots of money. Nowadays, it is nothing, basically. But it's still a really fun card. Especially for your ninjutsu decks, for example. All right, we've got a full art Stomping Ground foil. That's really nice. That is super sweet. It is not a galaxy foil, but it is beautiful. Very nice. Okay. And a Shapeshifter token, Changeling Death Touch, star. Nice. Okay. Looks like a skeleton to me, though. Golem. All right. Cool. So, next pack. Here we go. Not bad so far. I'm super happy about this. Pretty sweet. Ooh, look at this. Look at the golem. That's the 9/9. Oh, what is something from the commander produces this. That is a really cool piece of art. Sorry. All right, back to the front of here. Okay. Intrepid Tenderfoot. Decent card in limited. Can scale up. Can matter. Do the +1/+1 cards. Counters matter. Just a fine card. Depressurize. Excellent removal in limited. Although even when your opponent plays the 4-power thing, you cry a little bit, but it can still be a combat trick. It's really nice if you do it in response to them trying to station something, then it only will station based on its power at the time, even if it dies. It's so nice. So good. Mental Modulation. Draw a card, blah, blah, blah. Tap a creature. Graveblade Heavy. Haven't had to play this yet, thank goodness. I think it's still a fine card. 4/4 Death Touch for 4 is not awful. Caveron Skywarden. This card grows. It's so cool. I like this card. It does some work with the 4/5 reach stuff and can block the big flyers. And it's important because the state of these spacecraft are often quite large flyers. Not all of them, but some of them. Emergency eject. So destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a lander token. This is often going to be better in Commander than the Stroke of Midnight, I think it was, because a 1/1 is often better for people in Commander than finding a basic land, because a lot of people don't run enough basic lands, for example. Sea Chip Impact, great removal, naturalize that might get you an extra lander token. Wonderful and limited in this format. There's so many artifacts and enchantments that you want to remove. At instant speed is great, and then also potentially getting that lander token is super good value. Microsize are so much fun. I used it to get the 1/3 in that has the Ophidian ability when it damages an opponent, draw a card, but you can use it to make sure that the opponent has no profitable blocks, right? Make one of their only things a 1/1 instead. Super sweet. I love this card. It's not the most amazing thing ever, but it's super fun. So use social engineering. Here's one of the best payoffs for the lands entering is creating those 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature tokens. And it's really nice because you can warp it in early on, for example, on turn 3, pay the warp, then play the land, get that 2/2 going. If you have nothing else to do, it's super sweet. And then, yeah, just a nice one like Chocobos were in Chocobo Racetrack was in that. But again, getting this value early and not having it be a dead card in your hand when you just have lands early is nice. So that is super cool. There's a beautiful forest again. Not a galaxy foil, but beautiful. And then we get Arch Enemy's Charm. It's just nice in a mono black deck. I have a Chainer deck that's mono black, so I probably will put this in there. And EDH has way better mana than limited, so the triple black is not a huge cost. And so this versatility on this is pretty sweet. I like it. So it can even go in a non-mono black deck, of course, but I think I want to prioritize my mono black deck for it. Okay, Evendo Brush Razor from the Commander. 3 mana, 2/2. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token permanent, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, as long as you've sacrificed a non-token permanent this turn, you may play cards exiled with this creature. And you can tap, sacrifice a land, add 2 green, 2 red. Wow, that's really good. Oh, that Jund deck must be really pretty something else. That cares about sacrificing lands. That's cool. All right, Memorial Vault, kind of whatever. It's fine. I don't like it in limited, but it might have some constructed potential. I don't know. At 4 mana, we'll see. All right, so next we have Dust Bowl. Been reprinted so many times at this point. Cool art, though. And Beyond the Quiets, the full art foil. That is really stunning artwork, of course. I think it was up for auction recently, the original, but very pretty, not worth a lot. I mean, the artwork is, but not the card. Ooh, Elemental 5/3. It must be Titania in the actual, they must have put it in the Commander deck. That would make sense. Okay. Okay, so that's over there. At least that was a really pretty version of that card. Okay, exile creatures in spacecraft. So yet another of the Wrath in the format. So we've already opened the white one, the black red one, and the Demir one. So quite a few Wraths here. Okay, which makes for a weird limited format. If you just run into it with an aggro deck, and you're just like, well, shucks. Night Luminary, and then there was the mini Wrath, the Pyroclasm effect thing too. Night Luminary, Biosynthetic Burst. This one's just a fine card, this Luminary. Biosynthetic Burst. It's no Gaia's, what was it, Gaia's Blessing? No, that was the guy is something from before, which also gave hexproof. But there you are. Pinnacle Killship. It's done a lot of work against me, but when I needed to play it today, I got stuck on 6 for 6 turns and I died. Whereas it would change the entire game around. It would have been so perfect. Oh well. Too bad. Too bad for me. Bombard. Just a good removal spell reprint. Sky Stinger. Just a 3/3 reacher that can get bigger blocking flyers. Dauntless Scrapbot again. Nice. That is going to go with the rares again. Ooh, Umbral Collar Zealot. We have a second part of the combo. So this also is just a sick card. I think I might have seen this already and I just forgot about putting the combo stuff, talking about that. But a free sack outlet that surveils. We've had this before as a 1/1 Viscera Seer. And 3/2 for 2 as opposed to a 1/1 for 1. Sacrifice another creature. This one or artifact. The other one was sacrifice a creature, I believe. And surveil 1. This is just a great card. It's going to do so much work in an aristocrat type deck or any other thing that has sacrifice energies. So, but this is the second part of the combo with the 4/5 that we already showed you, and we'll bring those later if we find the other parts of the combo. Anyway, Atmospheric Greenhouse. It can do work, but if you don't have that many creatures, it's not that great. So it requires a few things to go right. Unravel. Cancel, but if you cancel a warped thing, you get to draw a card, or if you cancel anything that was discounted some other way, you get to draw a card. All right, another Plains, non-galaxy foil. And Weapons Manufacturing. This card is probably going to be doing something. It is, I feel like cards like this and, you know, munitions or whatever they are, or makeshift munitions and all the other stuff, they do stuff in standard, and I don't know whether this will, but I assume people are going to try at least. Seems pretty cool. I feel like this can do something. It's a nice card. All right, next one is a Vernal Fen. Okay, so they were completing some cycles here. So this is the 2 to Tango, right? The Tango lands. 2 or more basic lands, or it comes into play tapped. Not worth anything, I would assume, but really pretty as an extended art. And I'm glad that they are completing those cycles, because I think they're completing the cycling ones as well. I'm not sure. At some point soon, maybe. The ones originally from Amonkhet, so we'll see. All right, so we've got another Diadrin, but this time the alternate art. Full art. And, oops, sorry. I really don't want to reveal all of them. Okay, anyway. Power Depot! So enters tapped. You can add a colorless, add 1 mana of any color, spend it only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts, and it does have modular 1. So when it dies, you get to put a +1 counter on target artifact creature. I've never found a use for this that much, just because I don't usually sacrifice that many things, but there's so many other cool artifact sack decks and themes and stuff for that. So it's nice. I'm sure I can find a way to use it, and this artwork is so cool. And it reminds me of that Snow Moon. That's a space station. Anyway, moving along. And then we have a Biotech Specialist. This card is great. For those artifact stack decks. This is pretty sweet. So, not great to see in this pack, because I don't think it's worth much, but it's really cool. I mean, whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. It's nice. It should have been each, I feel like, but that's probably way too good with treasure tokens. I think it's just a great card for playing with. Okay. And then we got an art card. Okay. Not what you want to see is like your sort of like semi-premier card in this, but so yeah, this pack was probably not worth anything, basically. Oh well, no worries. I mean, this card is super sweet, so, and a lot of those are playable, so I'm happy with this. All right, next one we have. What do we have? Beastie token. So there must be a beast within, probably. I don't think they're still doing Terrastodon, but that would be Elephant anyway. I don't think they're still doing a few other the beastie tokens. Rig for War. +3/+0, first strike and reach. Lux Knight Breacher. This can get very big if you've gone wide. Diplomatic relations. Nice pump, ambuscade pump spell that does, incidental vigilance. So it's just a upgraded version of ambuscade. Way upgraded. Okay. Decode transmissions. I like this one. It's pretty easy to get the void, and then you get to draw 2 and opponent loses 2. Pretty sweet. I don't really like this card. I have not seen it played yet. It feels like it's going to require a lot of work to make good in limited. And there's just so much better removal. But if you're low on removal, I'm sure this will serve in a pinch. Spaceship won us, Sawship, sorry. Sawship, which is also a spaceship, won us some games today. The foiling is pretty sweet on this one. So cool. I think it was one game, but yeah. This card, sacrifices a non-token creature for 5. Isn't that great, I've found, overall. We've had it be really good against us once where we just had the one creature and then it's just, but other than that, I haven't been that impressed with it. When I had so much other removal in my deck, I did run it and it was good. But there was times when, there were times when it wasn't great, but yeah, it worked. Only in that deck, I think. Reroute systems, nice. Decent thing, 2 damage to target tap creature, or you get to choose an artifact or creature that to get indestructible until end of turn. Harmonious Grove Strider. This gets really big and attacks pretty well there. I have had people do multiple instances of this, and then you copy with a red mythic that makes token copies of things. Ooh! Perfect! This is a Galaxy Foil Forest. I think this is... yeah, that's just stunning. Okay, cool. Very nice. All right, now we have Sledge Class Siege Ship. And whenever it attacks, you can put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. You can station it for 7. It's not the strongest of the rare spacecrafts, but I have had it do some work before. I think we put in something very large into play. Because basically, you don't play this on 3. You play it on probably, I think it was 5, and you go to 3-drop and a 4-drop, and then you can crew this and then attack the next turn, or crew it. Yeah, or crew it the next turn and attack, and then get something on 7 that's like a 7-drop or 8-drop if you happen to get that curve. It's a very high ceiling, but it's also a very low floor because it does nothing when it comes to play. But the 7 is not so bad. That's why, 7 to station it isn't so hard. So, Horizon Explorer. 3 mana 2/4, lands you control enter untapped. Whenever you attack a player, create a lander token. Whoa! That's good. That's very good. Not only the lands you control enter untapped, right? Which is an amulet, right? But this. Oh god, that's epic. I like that card. So that's extended version of that card. We have the Dominion Bracelet here, extended art. So equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has 15. Exile this. You control target opponent during their next turn, so a Mindslaver effect. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is this creature's power. Activate only as a sorcery. So if you have a 4/4, it'll become a 5/5 when this is equipped to it. Then you can pay 10 mana. But I'm pretty sure there's some cool ways to make use of this in various formats. So it's a legendary artifact as well, so people are looking at it for like Pendragon and the other stuff. So I'm interested to see how this works out. That's pretty neat. Okay. We'll see how it goes. I don't think it's worth anything. I'm not sure, but okay. All right. Dominion Bracelet. Contested War Zone. I don't like this card. So moving along. Uthros, Titanic God Core. This is the Tolarian Academy land. Full art foil. I actually like the other art better. I'm so sorry. I really like the other art, but hopefully this one's worth more so I can trade for that one. All right, here we go. 12+. You get the Tolarian Academy. Enters tapped, add blue. Planet land. Nice. And then we have Insect and Beastie Boy. So, pretty cool. I like getting that, though. That's a nice one to put in my artifacts deck. My blue artifact deck. Okay. Especially since I can proliferate. That's the proliferate deck, so that's really cool. It's perfect for it. I just want the other art. Slight preference for it. Okay. This card is great. Great 2-drop. That's one of the ones we were talking about. So good. Ice Cave Crasher. Just a fine 4/4 that can become a 5/4 attacking or bigger if you get multiple land drops that turn. Fine and limited. This card is quite good. It's one of the best 2-drops in red. Embrace Oblivion, your normal bone shard type thing. You can sacrifice an larger creature or destroy target creature or spacecraft. Landseeker does some good work. 4 mana, 4/3 that gets you that lander token, but also has menace. I actually lost to this when it had the enchantment that allowed it to fight something, get +2, and apparently made it so that it couldn't be blocked by more than one creature, and yet the menace, so that makes it unblockable. So that was the thing. I didn't realize that the green enchantment did that actually made it so that it couldn't be blocked by more than one creature. There we are. Anyway, it's a cool card. This card gets good value. This card gets excellent value. Really great value on this one. This is a great card. I really like this one. So 3/3 that gets a lander token. It's not quite the green 3/3 from Streets of New Capenna, Jewel Thief, I think it was. That thing had Vigilance, Trample, 3/3, and created a treasure token when it came to play. But you know, that wasn't even the best 3-drop in that format because it had Inspiring Overseer. Anyway, Wayfarer is a good card in this format. Okay. Another Umbral Caller Zealot. I'm very happy to get that. Again, I'm going to put that over there. Atmospheric Greenhouse we talked about. Unravel again. Invasive Maneuvers is a good card. 3 damage to target creature, but 5 damage instead if you have a spacecraft. Still just a fine card in limited. And then we have a beautiful Island again. Very nice. Infinite Guideline Station. 5-color craziness. So, could you tell I wanted to say BS there? I don't know why I stopped myself, but there we are. So this card, I might put it in like my 5-color What Now deck, which is literally just cards that are 5 colors for no reason whatsoever. So when it enters, create a tapped 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token for each multicolored permanent you control. So you get 1 automatically for it, but hopefully you have more. And then 12+, whenever it attacks, draw a card for each multicolored permanent you control. So it's meant to go in a multicolored deck, which is perfect for my 5-color thing. So I might do that. I might actually do that. We'll see. Eumidian Waste Walker. 4 mana, 4/4. Whenever this attacks, you and defending player each discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. You draw a card for each land card put into a graveyard this way. Not bad. And it has Encore. Okay. Encore is good. And then this, again, in the land sack deck seems pretty good. We know where it came from. Another Pinnacle Star Cage. Okay, but this time non-foil extended art. Gemstone Caverns full art. Foil. That is beautiful. Not Galaxy Foil. Beautiful, though. This is really nice. And I do have a deck with Gemstone Caverns in it. I'm going to sleeve this one up. This one's really pretty. That I'm super excited about too. That's just beautiful. I don't know if it's worth much, but it's really pretty. Oh, whoa. And then we get ooh. Not money, but ooh. I thought it was going to be the one that allows you to play lands from your graveyard, and whenever you play a land, you mill a card, and yeah, you can play an extra land per turn or something like that. That thing is sick. But this one's also fun. The double the power of target creatures, pretty sweet. Full art foil. And then we get an elemental token. Oh, so Omnath is in that one. Okay. And Gnomi. All right. Gemstone Caverns. That's just such lovely art. The foil's so pretty. Okay, put put that over there. And then we got that guideline station that I almost certainly will put in that jank 5-color deck. 2 more packs. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Let's see. We haven't gotten the Drain uncommon that would be the last piece of the 4 promo. A 4-color combo, rather. Okay. Ice Cave Crasher, again. Zealous Display, we've seen them. They untap. Wormwall, we talked about. Cloud Sculpt Technician, you're fine. If you need it, flying blockers and things, it's a 2/4 flyer. Temporal Intervention, I don't like this in limited. I haven't had any need to run it. Again, Invasive Maneuvers. Dual Sun Technique is stunning in foil. That double strike, you have to be careful to play around it. Careful to play around it when you're blocking. But yeah, sweet card. And then you can draw a card if that creature had, the one you targeted had a +1/+1 counter on it. And this is my so if the 2 mana red 2/1 that gets +2/+1/+1 counters if your opponent doesn't give you 2 lander tokens, along with the 1/2 that taps any permanent for a mana of any color, with itself tapping as well. Those 2 are my absolute favorites, but then this is really closely following. I love this card. I think it's so much fun. It's so fantastic. I love this card in limited. It's so sweet, and it might even be good and constructed for an EDH deck that just cares about hitting those lands. I don't know, it might not be good enough for that, but yeah, it's good for me. I like it. Hymn of the Faller, good way to draw cards. Void's pretty easy to trigger again, so you're going to be surveil 1, then drawing 2, and losing 1. All right, another Swampy. And a Sammy Wildcat Captain. 6 mana for a 4/4 double strike vigilance. Spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. I don't... Double strike vigilance 4/4 is not a, to sneeze at, but it's a 6 mana card. Better be really good in Boros. I'm not sure this is as good enough. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know what deck you think this goes into, if any. Or if it's good enough in your mind to do that. Okay. Next one is Insight Engine. 3 mana from the commander 2 tap. Put a charge counter on this artifact and draw a card for each charge. Whoa. That's pretty cool. Ooh, I like this. Again, my Proliferate Artifact deck might want that. That is really sweet. So the first one, first it's 5 mana to draw a card. Unless you can put a counter on it some other ways. Then it's 7 mana to have drawn 3 cards. And it just gets crazier from there. I think it's slow but fun. I might make that work. We'll see. All right, next we have another Eternity Elevator. Not really what I wanted, but there we go. Okay. Alrighty then. Then we have... okay, well, this one is the Galaxy Foil Cathedral of War, which I'm never gonna play. I don't... Oh, wait. This is the Exalted one. Okay, this one I might play somewhere. That's cool, and it is Galaxy Foil. Not necessarily the Galaxy Foil one we wanted, but it's nice. It's nice. It's pretty. I like it. Okay. All right, what is our last one out of this pack before we go to the final pack? Oh, yeah, okay, that's nice. Okay, this is a foil. It is a foil full art. This is the card I was talking about, the Ice Till Explorer. That is nutty. This is the additional land on each of your turns. You can cast them from the graveyard, so it's a Crucible on a stick, and an Exploration on a stick. And whenever a land you control enters mill a card, so it fills up your graveyard, but you can also, if it gets lands into the graveyard, so you can keep playing lands. This card is nutty, and this is such a cool treatment of it. And in foil. Wow. Okay, that's really nice. I am going to sleeve that up right away. And that definitely goes in in a deck. I have actually multiple decks really want this card. I'm gonna have trouble figuring out exactly which one to put it in. It's almost certainly going in Green Sleeves. Green Sleeves is the first landfall deck that I prioritize because Badger. And this is oh God, beautiful. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Super happy with that pickup. Okay, all right, next one we have. That is so nice. Okay. Final pack. Here we go. Final pack. Padonk. Okay. Do. Okay, Virus Beetle again. Radiant Strike we talked about. Orbital Plunge talked about. Divert Disaster. This the quench of the format. That it's since quench is pretty bad late game. They fix it by at least you can create a lander token. If they actually do end up paying it. So at least you get some value even late game. Shattered Wings. Again, this is the one that got me. This is the one that I made a mistake with. This is destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying, surveil 1. Every time in the past, this has been an instant. It is a sorcery in this format, and I am so sad about it. The surveil 1 is supposed to be a little bit of payback for that. But it's a sorcery, and I keep forgetting this because every time, like Broken Wings and Crashing Canopy, they are instants. So, meh. All right, Alpha Rail. Dreaming Acolyte. This one is a fun one. Draw 2, discard 2 unless you discard an artifact. During your turn, it has Death Touch. Not a bad ROI. So just a fine card. Not super exciting, but a fine card. Yeah. Roving Actuator. You have to do some things to make it work out. In general, it's not going to be an auto include in most decks. Even the ones where you have a lot of two, it's just it's not that strong overall for what you can be doing on 4 in red. So, it's fine. Oh, this one's fun. Whenever it becomes tapped, create a lander token, and you can use it to station the spacecraft. So it's super sweet. Whenever land you control enters, put up some count on this creature. Super cool. Just good value for 4. Mecha Navigator's been doing some serious work for me. The looting, it's not optional, notably, so you do have to keep an eye on that as far as, decking yourself, potentially. But it's still just so good and limited for just fixing up your hand early and filling up the graveyard with a few things. And yeah, and you can, if it can't attack profitably, it can still station those vehicles. So, all right, another Island. Beautiful. Wait. Hold on. Does that look the same as the other one? Yes, it does. Okay, sorry. I was just making sure. For some reason, the clouds looked heavier on this one than the other one. Okay, not a galaxy foil, but there we are. All right, Moonlit Meditation. This one, I've been told, can do some crazy things with Sliver Hive. So basically, yeah, you can create copies of Sliver Hive. Or whatever, with a hive something, the 6 mana hive sliver thingy in this format. Yeah, anyway, someone got that combo going, and that is cray. But I can see this going in some decks. Again, high ceiling, low floor. There we are. Planetary Annihilation from the commander. Each player chooses 6 lands they control and sacrifices the rest. It deals 6 damage to each creature. How dare you blast Alderaan to bits? Anyway, better you understand how a planet is made, the better you understand when it's unmade. Okay. Well, that's going to be an interesting one. Sacrificing lands beyond 6 is at least not a full Armageddon, so that's nice. Ooh, Warmaker Gunship. That's a pretty sweet one for limited. When it enters, it deals damage equal to the number of artifacts you control to target creature and opponent controls. That can be quite good in limited. 4/3 flyer for 6 is a low crew cost as well, station cost as well. So decent card. I don't know how it will do in constructed. I don't know how some of these spacecrafts will ever do in constructed, but we'll see. All right. Plaza of Heroes. Full art, non-foil. Just a nice reprint, really nice artwork. Okay. And oh. All right, this isn't what you want to see for your last card of the box, but it looks like it's a pretty decent box so far anyway. So Emissary Escort, foil. It's really cool that this kind of extends beyond the boundaries here with the extended art. That's really nice. The foiling here is so pretty on the extension. So this is a cool card. I think it could do stuff. It's a little bit contingent, so I don't know whether it will actually do stuff in standard, but it does some really fun stuff in limited where you put it into play and then, for example, you warp in a Mechanizoa, which is, you know, a good 5 power for it, swinging on 3, so, and tapping down the potential blocker. So it's a cool card. I might still run it in my artifact deck just because that's two mana. That's probably going to, at the very least, be a 2/4. Yeah, nice stuff. Most of the time. So, yeah, okay. Cool card. And a beastie and clue token. Okay, so the most exciting hit for me was that, of course, that mythic, the Ice Till Explorer foil full art. So that is a really nice pickup. And there's some other really nice stuff in here as well. We didn't get the drain that does the combo though. The little drainer. It's an uncommon black. I think it's a 2/2. That whenever something dies, an artifact or creature on your side of the board that you control, rather. Usually that's on your side of the board. But that you control dies. It drains opponent for 1. So they lose 1. You gain 1. And so if you have this on 2 and that on 3, then if you have 2 Beckoners in hand, you can warp 1 in, and give either of the other 2 creatures. It doesn't matter. It's another target creature, but then warp the other in, targeting the first one, such that it will come back into play if it dies. Then you get to sacrifice it. It'll come back into play. You target the other one. You sacrifice that one, come back to play. And all this time as they're dying, you are pinging them and surveilling one. So it's an infinite combo there. So it's a sweet one. It's a very sweet one. We actually had all the cards in our deck. We had a Zealot, we had the Sacrifice Outlet, and we had the 2 Beckoners. Didn't happen, but we did trophy with that deck. It's up on YouTube. In the early access. So let me know whether you got this combo going at some point. I can't wait to hear whether you actually got it to happen. That would be super sweet. So so the Ice Till is the one I'm super excited about, but there were some other really nice hits and a lot of stuff that I'm very excited to play with, even though it isn't necessarily of the most monetary value. So the editor will tell us what we sort of made on this. Sorry, not made on, but what value the overall was here, and the box was. I'm so tired. Can you tell? And we'll see whether we made our money back. And I'll I think this was something like, let me see what we, oh wait, there were some shocks in there. That was kind of super exciting. We probably made our money back on this one. I feel like we did. Maybe I'm wrong. I think those are a little bit in the temple, breeding pool, some good stuffs. I like the Cosmogrand too. That's a nice one. Oh yeah, the Green Sun Zenith too. Jesus. Okay, never mind. I forgot about that. And the planet lands I think are still a little bit and very exciting to me anyway, and just some really cool cards to play with. Okay, so anyway, I think the biggest hits probably, I mean, I'm probably missing a few, but this was nice. We have that Ice Till, obviously, that Ice Till, the planet black Green Sun Zenith. That's, I don't know which one's worth more, but they're both probably quite pricey. Breeding pool foil, just temple is just nice. Tannock here, Gemstone Caverns, the Brood Ship, Stomping Ground, Uthros, and Cathedral of War. This point, but yeah. Anyway, just super cool cards, great artwork. Whether we made it or not, money back or not, at least we got to have this fun opening these cards, the packs, and seeing the cards from the set, and enjoying what it has to offer. Hopefully you enjoyed as well, and at no cost to you. So that's really cool. So let me tell you what I actually paid for this box, because it was a really good pre-order price. $245. So that's, I mean, obviously that's a lot for cardboard. But $245, a really decent pre-order price, thanks to a lovely game store. And if you were, I have to double check with them whether they want me to to promote that particular price. I like the fact that they had such great prices. I don't know. I don't think they didn't give me a special deal. It was their normal deal, which is just so crazy awesome. But yeah, just a game store in New Jersey. But yeah, I'll double check and then I'll post it below or something in a comment or something if they allow me to do that. I don't know if they want to be mentioned. We'll see. But yeah, super sweet game store, New Jersey. Mailed it to me. $245. I think that, you know, we may not have opened the best box, but it's a really good box, and $245 is perfectly a great deal for what these cards are, what these collector boxes are going for these days. So thank you so much to them. They know who they are. And I hope you have a wonderful morning, noon, night, afternoon tea, second breakfast, whatever time it is for you. I hope you had a really good time here. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. The editor will let you know what the total was, and we'll go from there. All right. Cannot wait to see you again on both YouTube and Twitch. Woo!